guys, welcome back to my channel. For starters, I want to begin by saying thank you to all 53 of my subscribers. Thank you to all of you guys that have liked my videos and that have been watching. For those of you that are new, my name is Jackie, and in this video I will be covering the last part to my 3-part series about becoming a teen mother. If you guys haven't already done so, go ahead and check out the last 2 videos so that you guys can have more of an insight about myself and my story of becoming a teen mother. This video is mostly going to cover what my life has been like after my son's arrival. So from the time he was born till now that he's 7, all of the things that I've gone through, and maybe I won't be able to cover all just because there's so many things that I can talk about, but I just want to bring awareness and light to a lot of different topics because I know that a lot of teen mothers struggle with these same things even though they do not share it. I know that becoming a teen mother is a very relatable thing to those of you that have already become teen mothers as well, and I just want you guys to know that you guys are not alone in this. Just because somebody paints a perfect picture, just know it's not always picture perfect. Becoming a parent, no matter what age, is a struggle. Nobody's ever ready to become a mother. So as many of you guys know, I am a single mother. I found out that I was pregnant during my junior year of high school. I was 17 at the time, and then I had my son during my senior year of high school. And during that time, I was not working. I wanted to get a job, but my mother wanted me to focus on actually graduating high school. It was something very important for her. So she was my biggest support system during that time. So after I had my son, I did fall into postpartum depression. Not many people know that about me, or at least not many of the people that know me. The only people that really know are my close friends and my family. I felt like I had brought my baby into this world and I had nothing to offer him. So I was really depressed about that. I did not have a job at the time. I really had only the support of my mother. But even then, I felt like out of place with that because, you know, I brought this baby into this world. I should be able to support him, you know, financially and with whatever he needs. So I went through that dark phase and I got the proper help and I was able to overcome that dark period of my life. So fast forward a little bit, I did graduate high school. And then I got my first job at a Wendy's. I was working full time. At that time, I was making enough to buy my son's necessities, to pay my phone bill, and to pay my car insurance. This was in 2013. So the minimum was somewhere around $8 and some change, probably $9, maybe the most. So I was just really making the bare minimum. School was not really in my thoughts at the moment, only because I really didn't know what the future was going to hold for me. I didn't have like an actual plan about how to carry it out, but after having a deep conversation with my mom, you know, I decided to enroll into a community college with my focus in nursing. And I was taking 2 classes at night and working full-time at Wendy's. And then one day, a manager from another store from the same plaza where I worked asked me if I wanted to work part-time at her store. And without hesitation, because, you know, of course I needed the money, I went ahead and took that job. So on the days that I was not going to school, I would get off at Wendy's like around 5 p.m. or 6. Then I would go to my second job, literally just walk across the parking lot and go to my second job. And I would leave there like 10, 11 at night or something like that. And if it was not going to my second job, I was going to school. I had no breaks. it was very overwhelming for me, honestly, to the point where one day I broke down while I was working. I had a really close relationship with one of my managers. So I told her, I feel like I can't do this anymore. I leave my house, my son is asleep. I come back home, my son is asleep. I'm missing out on my son. I'm missing out on a lot of his milestones. I'm missing out on his infancy. And that hurt. And till this day, honestly, it's a constant battle with that. It's a constant battle between I'm missing so much time that I can actually be spending with him. But I always try to tell myself, like, you are doing what you can with what you have. You have to do this. You have to remember who you're doing this for. And at the end of the day, this is all for him. So I try to constantly remind myself about that, because if you think negatively, you will never win. And I've learned that the hard way. Then finally, after about a year of working at Wendy's, I got another job at Allstate. I got paid a little bit more. I was still in community college. I was working full time. And then at that moment, I decided to take on a full-time schedule at community college. So it was kind of harder to balance those two out. But I did what I had to, like always. After that, I just decided that school was taking too long and I just needed more money than what I was making. So I looked into becoming a medical assistant, and I actually enrolled to become an MA. I was doing part-time, so I was only going on weekends. So literally, I was working Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday I was in school. So my whole week was taken up by work and school. I felt the same feelings as always. Like, I'm missing out on my son, and I tried to tell myself, like, you're doing this for him so that he never wants or needs anything. Like, you're trying to provide a better future. So just know that none of this is in vain. And that's just kind of what I had to keep telling myself throughout the whole time. And then finally, after about a year, I graduated from there. So I got my certification. And then I was finally getting paid a little bit more. Even though I was in that program, I was still attending community college and taking like a class or two. Ultimately, my goal was nursing. But when I actually did the MA program, nursing really, really grew on me after that. Like, I was decided that that is really the route I wanted to go. And I thought about it, and I didn't want an associate's in nursing. I wanted my bachelor's. So I started looking into different schools. I wanted to actually enroll, in an actual university. Now, with that came many negative remarks, and you would think that your family is your number one support. Now, I am not talking about my mother, because God knows that my mother is the most supportive person. She's literally been my strongest support. I got a lot of backlash for wanting to go to a 4-year college, and that didn't stop me. I heard it all. I literally heard, what teen mother goes to a 4-year college? A community college, maybe, but a 4-year college? Or I also heard, and this one I think is what really fueled me even more to, do this, because this person is supposed to be one of those people that support me the most. I'm not gonna say who it was, but the comment was just like ridiculous and ignorant to the T. This person said, "When have you seen Hispanic people's children go to universities?" So I was determined. I was determined to get into school. I had no idea. I've never filled out a college application. I had to do so many things. I had to get recommendation letters. I had to actually do the application process. And it was much simpler to get into a community college than it was into a four-year college, just because, like, I had transcripts already. I had to get my transcripts, had to pay for those, had to pay the application fee, had to see the program that I was trying to get in. I ended up applying to the wrong program, but I was able to work it out with the school so that they put me in what they call CAS, which is basically the College of Arts and Science, which guides you towards becoming a nurse. So after that, I got in. I got into the college. I went in with a transcript that had 22 credits on there, and they only took 9 credits. So it pushed me back a lot. But like I said, I was determined. So I started the four-year college fall of 2015, I believe, or if not, it was spring of 2016. One of those. Like always, I always believe that when people backlash you or talk you down, God always makes sure that you're well taken care of, because I landed a scholarship. Without applying to one, the school granted me a scholarship. And then there was another scholarship that I was looking into, but they said that I had to be an on-campus student, which obviously I could not do that because I have a son. But then next thing you know, I don't know exactly what changed, and next thing you know, I just got a phone call like, we want to interview you for this scholarship, and it was a nursing scholarship. So I interviewed and I got that scholarship as well. So yes, God is good. So even when people are not on your side, God will always be by your side. Till this day, right now, I am still in school. I am a senior. So I've come a long way, but mind you, I've been in school since 2013, so literally 7 years, and it's been really, really hard. It's been really hard because in the beginning, when I was doing my prereqs, I was still working. First, I was working full-time. Then slowly, as my classes started getting more difficult, I became part-time. And now I am currently not working at all. So just coming from having this constant income to not having income, or having little to no income, it's just really difficult. Like, even though I am not struggling as much, because of course everybody struggles, and I can honestly say that I have struggled financially, but I thank God for all the opportunities that I've had, because my sons never lacked. And that, to me, that's always been my goal, to make sure that my son is okay. It doesn't matter if I don't eat, as long as he's well fed, well dressed, I come last in anything and everything. So now, he is 7 years old and I'm a full-time student. I always tell my classmates, you're lucky your children are little right now, because they won't remember this. As for me, my son gives me a very, very, very hard time. This semester was just really difficult for me when it comes to my son, because he is older now, he sees things, he understands things. And I am in the nursing program now. I am no longer doing prereqs, and the program is very rigorous, so it requires a lot of commitment. I can honestly say that. And it's just hard when you have children. So I was going to school Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I had clinicals Wednesdays and Saturdays, and then Mondays and Fridays I was working 12 hours, and then I was working every other Sunday or rotated weekends, something like that. That was my schedule. And for him, now that he's older, you know, he was like, Mom, I don't want you to go to work. Mom, I don't want you to go to school. And this was literally almost an everyday thing. Or, Mom, I want you to drop me off at school, but, you know, I would have to leave my house at 8 to make sure that I got to school on time because morning traffic, I'm not trying to be late to school. In the nursing program that I'm in, there's a policy. If you have 2 unexcused absences, you fail the class. And if you have 3 tardies, it equals an absence. So I was really, you know, in this dilemma with him and school where, you know I have to be on time, but then I know he wants me to take him to school. So it's just really hard trying to juggle everything. And the more further you are in your nursing career, the more rigorous it becomes. And even though he understands certain things, he is still not old enough to understand that I need to do this. And I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I did not talk to him about this. And I'm not going to sit here and say that school is a priority over my son. There's been many occasions where I'm like emailing my professor, like, you know what, today is my son's first day of school. I'm sorry, I might be late to your class, but this is very important for me. I always make sure to go drop him off on his first day of school. Any concerts, I always make sure that I am there and that I get a good seat and that he knows that I am there to support him. But it's still very hard because he's always like, Mom, I don't want you to go to school. Mom, I don't want you to go to work. And what can I tell him? It got to the point last semester, or this semester literally that just finished right now, it got to the point where I had to choose between my job, because obviously school is not something that I can just leave. So I decided to leave my job. That is why I'm not working. Also, my job was taking a lot of study time away from me. And being in the program is not a game, and I do not take it lightly. It has taken me a very long time to get here, and I am way too close to like play around with this. There's been many instances where I've been like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. But when I look back at everything that I've gone through and how far I've come, I just can't turn back. And if I were to leave school now, these last 7 years that I haven't really been with my son like that would be all for nothing. It would be all in vain. So, I stick it out. Even when I feel like I can't, I can, and I have to, and I will. Because everything that I am doing to better myself, to become more successful, I am doing this for him. And this semester, I found myself having this conversation with him many times because it was just really hard, and it was heartbreaking. In general, being a teen mother comes with many tears, many tears. because we all struggle. For those of us who are single mothers, there's an extra struggle because now you are having to play two roles, not just one. You have to be a mother and a father to your child. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And when you're trying to build this future for you and for your child, and you're having to work and you're having to go to school, there's just so much on your shoulders, and sometimes you feel like you can't do it. But when you feel like you can't do it, you need to look at your child and know that you can. It is really hard. I am getting emotional. Becoming a teen mother, I can honestly say, has been a roller coaster of emotions. It's just been a roller coaster, period. It's been the most difficult yet the most rewarding experiences of my entire life. I've gone through so many things. I've felt like I am not good enough, like I did not deserve him. The reality is, no one is perfect. You're never going to be the perfect mother. You can definitely try to be, and that's what counts. You're never going to be perfect, so you cannot beat yourself up for it. And for what it's worth, I feel like the most important thing about becoming a teen mother is learning to forgive yourself. Because you will constantly make mistakes. There will be days when you are frustrated more than others. And it's just easier to just take it out on who's there. In that case, it would be your child. It's easier to take out some of that frustration on them. And maybe you're not doing it consciously or with the intention to hurt their feelings, but it happens. We're human. But it is important to always apologize to them and let them know it's not your fault. I'm having a bad day. For example, I was just not having a good day today. My son is older now, so he just knows. And he's like, Mom, are you having a bad day? I'm like, yeah, sweetie, I'm just having a bad day. I didn't take it out on him or anything. He just kind of knew. And so yeah, just make sure that you always apologize to your children. Make sure that you don't beat yourself up for things if they're not perfect. Yes, you don't have it all right now, but I promise you that if you work hard enough for what you want and you put your mind to it, you will get there. Would I go back in time and undo this whole experience? I would not, because to be honest, if I wouldn't have had my son, I don't know if I would have gone to college. I don't know if I would be this close to becoming an RN. Like, I don't know where I'd be without my son. My son has literally changed my life in the most positive way ever. I've grown through this process with him, and I've learned throughout the years. You're not gonna know everything there is to know about being a mom. As they're growing and learning, you're growing and learning with them. Things don't come easy. It is a struggle, but you can beat the odds. People think that just because you are a teen mother, your life is over. Your life is not over. It's just begun. It's just a different chapter of your life. And some people think like, oh, well, you can't do this, well, you can't do that. Yeah, maybe you can't do the exact same things anymore, but that doesn't mean that a child takes away from your future. If not, they give you a better future. It's just all about perspective and all about the way you think about it. I think it's important that as a mother, you find time for yourself. I know people that think that being invested in their children 24/7 is the proper lifestyle or is a way of life, but I can honestly say that what has kept me sane is being able to have time for myself and take care of myself. Because if I am happy and I am sane and I am okay, then I know my child will be happy and my child will be okay. So I think that pretty much sums it all up. If you guys have any questions, or if you have ideas about another video, or if you have anything else that you want me to talk about in regards to becoming a teen mom, then you guys can leave that in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.